Who are we? Employees representing virtually every cultural community are thriving within our corporate culture. And we champion disability employment, creating an environment in which people with disabilities can be high-performing contributors. We also work together with our diverse base of customers, community partners, and suppliers, building lasting relationships that are at the center of the PNC's 160-year history. We're most admired companies, best national bank, 100 most sustainable companies, top 50 employers, best places to work for LGBTQ equality, best of the best corporation for lunch inclusion, top 70 companies for executive women, 100 best companies working women, best companies to work for multicultural women. And finally, we are proud sponsors of the Heritage Breakfast for the Black Chamber of Commerce. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you, Frida. That was great. Also, you guys, I have my mortgage with PNC Bank.
All right.
I'm glad to pay off.
I love
it. In 6 more years, so it'll be done.
They will have to get you another one. That's all.
That's it. I gotta retire someday. So I will turn over to you, Tracy, for our housekeeping.
Yes, hello, good morning, everyone. I just want to let everyone know if you are not speaking, I'm just asking that you just keep your mics muted. And if you have any questions for any of our honorees, for any of our members and or executive board team, please feel free to drop those in the chat. I will be monitoring that, and there will be a Q&A and where you'll be able to ask those questions. So other than that, you guys enjoy, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for that, Tracy. All right, so like I said before, we're honored to have 3 guests with us, and our 3 guests actually are previous Ascension Award winners with the Black Chamber. If you're not familiar with the Ascension Awards, that's an event that we have annually. Usually when we're not in the midst of this pandemic, but in lieu of that Ascension Awards this year, we're having this breakfast to allow our past award winners to give us an update on where they are. Tracy, did you want to talk something about the breakfast, the coupon that they get with Blue Mountain Coffee?
Yes. So absolutely. After this meeting, or actually I have a link that I'm going to drop throughout the actual breakfast. This breakfast is a coupon, a gift that we're giving to you from Blue Mountain Coffee House, a Black-owned restaurant. If you guys have not already went to that establishment, it's off of Clematis and Rosemary Avenue. You will get a cup of coffee on the chamber, as well as a croissant. This will provide you a coupon to be able to print to go to that establishment, go and visit this business owner. Unfortunately, she was not able to join us today, but she looks forward to seeing each and every one of you.
Okay, thanks, Tracy. So that's one of the many ways that we're all trying to adapt to this this pandemic and still have some kind of benefit to participants in these type of events. So please go out and support that Black-owned business as well. So as I mentioned, so we have 3 of our prior Ascension Award winners, and we're going to give them a chance to share with us the adjustments that they've made to their businesses and what their success stories are and the challenges that they're facing dealing with this pandemic as well. So we're gonna give each one of the presenters, the panelists, an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then after they do that, we'll come back with some questions that we've prepared for them, and then we'll open up the floor for questions from you as well. So with that, we're going to start out with Courtney Lewell. She's the owner of Crowned Marketing and Communications. So good morning, Courtney, and
good morning.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. So Crown Marketing Communications, we're an award-winning marketing and communications agency. We specialize in multicultural and millennial marketing. And this month, we actually celebrated our 10-year anniversary. So very happy about that. And Palm Beach County native, born and raised here. So to be an Ascension winner was really a dream come true because I've been watching it for years. And the first time I went to an Ascension Awards, I had my eye on that. So it's really great to be one of the more recent winners. I will say from the 2020 was definitely a shift for us. A lot of our small business clients had to pivot, and we were there in the trenches with them, trying to help them pivot and be able to connect with their audiences and help them go digital. Those are the ones that were not digital already, helping them to go digital so that they can create the connection with their customers online. So that was interesting. And then what we really one thing that we were able to do rather quickly was we started to shift our focus to more corporate work. So at the beginning of the pandemic, maybe about 30% of our work was with large organizations, Fortune 100 companies. And now it's about 60% of our business. So we were able to pivot, and thankfully we're able to still have our most successful year in 2020.
That's fantastic. To come off of to build that kind of environment and still have a great year is excellent. So I'm going to come back to you with a couple of more questions in a little while. I don't see Boris on. Trace, do we have Boris? I know he was having some troubles getting on earlier.
I'm working with him. I'm trying to get him on now.
Okay. All right. So we're going to shift over to Darren Still. So Darren is the owner of Cityside Suites, a smart office and business cafe. So Darren, I'm going to give you 5 minutes as well to kind of introduce your business and yourself.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I just want to say good morning to everyone, and thank you guys for all you do in reference to your service and all the award winners and everybody that is online. My name is Darren Still. I am a third generation entrepreneur. Here on 3rd and Rosemary. My family owns and operates Cityside Suites. We have about 7 bays that we have here that we offer to the community and small businesses like myself, and in Palm Beach County. The topic that we're talking about today, I think this has been my life in business, is how do you adapt? And with Cityside, when the pandemic hit, it was devastating for us because we're a small meeting space. So 75% of our business was meetings. When that happened, we had to really look at ourselves and value, why did we start our business? And with everything going on, you have to value yourself first. And to your mission statement, and we went into community mode. The great thing about Cityside is that we're part of our community. So we try to adapt and help our community first, for as filling out applications for situations with the government, giving our masks to the community, because we realized that the value of our company was our community. So we went there first. After then, our motto became, adapt and overcome. Every situation is not a blueprint on how you pivot in this situation. Every day is new, and we're developing systems to adapt to a new way of work and how we are today. But that's us in a 3-minute speech, Joseph. I don't want to get into too much long speeches. My thing is, here at Cityside, we adapt and overcome. We try to be smart, and we try to give our clients value, and we went back to that.
Excellent. Trace, I saw Boris for a second, but I don't see him. I don't see him right now, though. He's still having some connection problems. So I'll come back to Boris, but I'm going to cycle back to.
I'm here, Joe. I don't know if you can hear me.
Okay, yeah. I can hear you. All right, so Boris, welcome for joining us this morning. I see you. I know you're setting up for an event you got going on.
Yes.
Are you able to kind of give us a 5-minute overview about, or so about who you are and your business?
Sure. My name is Chef Boris Seymore. I'm the executive chef and owner of BDS Catering and Productions, LLC, located in West Palm Beach, Florida. We do catering and event planning. We've been we've been holding on, man. It's been tough. It's been hard. It's been difficult, but we was able to adjust and adapt. One of the good things about me is I started in corporate catering and government. So I was already doing box lunches to go. My first major account was with Vitas Healthcare. I had all the reps in Palm Beach County, and we would do marketing lunches and breakfast for them when they go to the different healthcare facilities. So in a nutshell, it hurt me because I kind of stepped away from the government and corporate lunch, and I kind of dabbled over into expanding into large scale events. So it hurt me, but it didn't hurt me as bad as it could have because we already do box go lunch and solutions. So that's a little bit overview for me for right now. I guess we'll get into questions and answers later.
Okay, great. Thank you, Boris. And I know you'll work this into the process as well. So I'll go back to Courtney. So with our first question, and everybody kind of touched on this a little bit, but why don't you dive a little deeper into how the pandemic has impacted your business, if you could.
Yeah, so on the onset of 2020, we were on track to meet our sales projections, and around the middle of February, we started to see, you know, I was paying attention to what was going on internationally, and I really quickly made the decision to close our office space. We had an office space downtown. So just to prepare for, you know, the worst and not really knowing what to expect, we shut down the office space. Everyone went remotely, which was a seamless transition for us because we were hybrid. Half of the week we were in the office, half of the week we were working from home. And so everyone on staff went remote. And then we had events planned as well. So we had a large conference planned that was a 500 person in-person live event that we had planned. So we had to try to get out of those contracts, which were large contracts. And then we had to take it digital. You know, we had to be able to talk to our sponsors and let them know, hey, this event's still going to be great. This is what our plan is, and had to pivot that way too. So it was really, and also, you know, at that point, about 60 to 70% of our client base was made up of small businesses, a lot of whom were relying on us to tell them how to market, how to get out in front of their customers. And we were also in that same position because we also needed to be able to connect with our customers too. So, so it was really about all hands on deck. We were hosting workshops with our clients to make sure that we were able to share with them, hey, these are some of the best practices. This is what we're doing. These are the conversations that we're having with clients. These are some of the things that they're purchasing, so that we can really be a resource for them. And a lot of our clients were able to pivot. A lot of them were able to go digital, which was great. A lot of whom had no Facebook page, had no Facebook presence, weren't really interested in it, but knew they had to if they wanted to not just survive, but thrive in 2020. So that was interesting. And then I'll say the last thing that was something that I was really focused on was I really wanted to make sure I didn't have to lay off any of my staff. So thankfully, we were able to get new accounts and work with new clients, and mostly larger clients as well, so that we didn't actually have to lay off anyone. We were actually able to add people onto to the company payroll. So that was great. But I think the thing that really saved us was being able to get out of that expensive office lease really quickly. And although I was very tied to that office space that I loved very much, making a quick decision, and thankfully I did, because I think that, you know, it was a good decision to make, but that really allowed us to free up some cash flow to be able to hold on to what we needed to do.
Okay. Well, you've been in the marketing communications. Did you see, you know, with the whole pandemic and the whole thing around, you know, Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, did that drive any business to you? Were you able to take advantage of any of that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of our work within corporations is in the DE&I space. So we were able to double down.
Explain what that
We are
is.
right
Sure.
now working on strategies with large corporations to really create what we've coined as culture communications to help them create best practices to not only attract, but also retain diverse talent and diverse suppliers. So that was actually something that we really doubled down on in 2020. And it's actually one of our primary focuses going onward.
So explain what DE&I is.
Oh, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay. Yeah. I thought about that, but I wasn't sure. Okay. All right. Thank you. So Darren, same question for you. So you kind of touched on it as well, but how else has the pandemic, I mean, I know that it's cut back on meetings in your spaces, but anything else you want to add to that, how the pandemic has impacted you?
No, you're absolutely right. You know, we had to adjust, adapt and overcome situations. And, you know, we took a 75% cut in our business, but also the good thing, I think Courtney touched on it, we saw opportunity with all the office spaces are downsizing. We became like a college recruiter to trying to recruit businesses like Courtney and others to show them the value of having a smaller space, but still keeping your downtown presence, but at the same time having a small and reducing your expenses. With spaces like mine, and they're all over Palm Beach County, but at the same time, we offer in our space that people don't know. It's HUD zone designation, enterprise zone, SBA zone. So we have some hidden values that we were able to tap into and let people know about our space. Also, I had to become a marketing stalker. I would stalk people like Tracy and Courtney and other people because I had to learn how to do business a different way. So I would look at their YouTube, their shows and stuff like that. And I think that's something that we all have to do in small business. We have to get out of our box and we have to dive into new ways to do business. So that's the way I had to do. I had to do 3 months almost shutting down just because, you know, the cleaning and making sure my space was safe. But after that, I got the opportunity. I saw a lot of hidden value. It's picking up new clients, talking about our value and talking about the value of our neighborhood, which is, you know, a historic Black neighborhood. So that's all. That's it for me, Joe.
Okay. Boris, are you there? Can you hear us? Okay. All right. So
yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So you touched on also, you know, how the pandemic has changed your business, and I see you're boxing up. Looks like something for something yummy to eat right now. So anything else about how the pandemic has impacted your business that you wanted to add?
Yeah. So like I said, it really has impacted our business on a large scale basis because we average about 150 to 200 guests a event. And so, like I say, I started in corporate and government box lunch, and I worked so hard because they were smaller ticketed invoices. So when I got into the corporate and the bigger events, of course, you know, I scaled up to large ticket events. So I didn't have to work as hard. So I had to adjust and go back down to working 4 and 5 times a week instead of once or twice, maybe sometimes 3 times a week when I would do one big event. So we just able to adjust and adapt. And, you know, we have a good business philosophy. We got a great team. And our core values is what's true to us, and people still support us, and they supported us through this pandemic. And we really appreciate everybody and the continued support. It means a lot to us. A lot of people, unfortunately, had to shut down their business. I'm one of the few catering companies that's still rolling. So it's been a blessing in disguise all at the same time. It made you really revamp and reanalyze your business plan, your business strategy, finances, budgeting. It did a lot. Like Darren touched on it. I couldn't do no stocking. My stocking was on Zoom calls every day. You know, I would come up with a goal and a game plan, and then by the time I get on the call the next morning, whatever notes I took from the day before, it completely changed all over again. So it's evolving day to day, and I'm just grateful that I have the mental capacity the capacity to run and adjust and adapt and still be blessed in a time like this.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Boris. All right. So going back to you, Courtney, with our next question. So did you have to change your business focus or deliverables to stay relevant? And if so, what did you do? So I think, again, we touched on some of this again, but is there anything that changed your focus, anything that you haven't mentioned yet?
Yeah, so one of our main focuses was actually working with the client, and our business model is retainers, a monthly retainer that we do a lot of different tasks within that retainer for clients. But we were finding that we had to pivot that and instead focus on, I typically like to do a lot of speaking. That's one of the forms for us to do business development, but I really had to go into the form of, instead of doing it for the client, actually teaching the client how to do it. And really, like Darren said, you know, every business needs to think of themselves as a media company, no matter what business you're in. And so it was really going from the implementer to the instructor and helping our clients and clients who weren't necessarily clients, but just small business owners really across the country, teaching them, hey, this is how you present on camera. These are some of the things that you should have. This is how you set up your signature talk. And we actually created an academy and really doubled down on education. And that was that's one of a revenue stream that we've added to the company. So that definitely caused us to pivot. And I would say the other thing too is 2020 was a time of reflection, because there were some things that we're not necessarily we weren't going to be able to effectively deliver and in a way that we can actually profit from it in 2021, because the market had changed. So we changed our business through offering training programs, through focusing on interviewing our clients and prospective clients and asking them, hey, what are you looking for? How can we help you? And having those honest conversations. I think that is one thing that is really important to do every day, every week, or have it be a recurring thing that you're doing, because you always want to make sure that you're tapping into what your customers want and what they're looking for, because what you think they want a lot of times is totally different what they'll actually buy. So yeah, I think that's
Excellent.
what happened for us.
Great. Darren, I turned to you with the same question. So I mean, again, I know you guys touched on some of this, and this question is kind of related to the last one. But anything else you can add in terms of have you changed your business and the deliverables in order to stay relevant to your customers?
Yeah, I think Courtney really summed it up for me, but I just want to say we had to act quickly. I think you can't overthink things when you're making adjustments. I know we had to, our biggest space, we had to really shut down, but we adapted and started a Zoom room. And we saw opportunity as creating rooms. And also, like myself, I'm not the greatest on technology, but I had to double down on my relationships of people who knew how to, like a Tracy or Boris or everybody in here. We had to work together with our team to adapt to the new situation and the new way we're going to do work from now on. I just believe when, and I'm just going to go a little sports here, when the West Coast offense started out in California, everybody's like, what this? Now everybody's doing spread and run and shoot offenses and winning Super Bowls now. And that's what you have to do to stay relevant. You have to change, look at the defense, change it up, and be ready to talk to your team and adapt and go now. You can't wait on it. We have to win right now. And that's been our motto here at Cityside. But not only Cityside winning, we are a community base, and we want our community to adjust and adapt and overcome situations. So we do a lot of bringing people in, making sure everybody's safe, but working with them on how to, set up their Zoom meetings and their conferences and all that. So business can continue. Lastly, I want to say, and I know I may be jumping because I got to get back to school, is it's so important to build and stay connected to your chambers, your business associations and everything. I'm very thankful for the information I get from the Black Chamber, because at first I'll just look at it. Now every piece that I see, I go in it like I got to take a test. And it's just been so valuable to have that information and be able to make those changes while we're making changes in our own business. So I just want to say thank you to the Chamber. And one thing I encourage all business owners to do is to build those relationships with those, and the procurement departments, the county and all that. Double down on that stuff, because we can't just go out like we used to. So you need to have the relationships with those organizations.
Okay. Darren, did you say you have to leave before 9:30 or?
Yeah, I'll be stepping out about 9:30, but I just wanted to.
Okay.
Be there before, so.
Just to make sure I give you a chance to answer questions if they need to. Boris, I'll come back to you. But what are you preparing, by the way? Maybe you can share with us so we can. I know some of us are thinking about some food already. What are you preparing?
Okay. The first meal was baked chicken, mashed sweet potatoes, Southern style green beans. The second meal is a brunch chicken breast, yellow rice, and Southern style green beans. Then we have a vegan fajita bowl with some jasmine rice and regular green beans with no smoked meat. And then we're going to have vegetable lasagna for the vegetarians. And then for dessert, they got mini sweet potato pies.
Okay, sounds good.
Joe, I appreciate you asking that question. I just want to let you know, because I was wondering.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll all get a little hungry. So Boris, I'm going to take a little bit of a slightly different question, because I know we touched on this a lot, but because we seem to be, hopefully we're coming out of the pandemic. We got the vaccine now. We're struggling to get it out to as many places as we possibly can, as many people as we can. In the paper, DeSantis talks about lowering the age, I think, to either 60 or 55 for people to get out, to receive the vaccine. What are you seeing in 2021 as we get through the year? Are you starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel for this pandemic, or what are you starting to see?
A little bit. I mean, of course, things are going to change for a while. If you think about back during 9/11, there used to be, before 9/11, used to be a bunch of festivals. You had the Goon Bay Festival, the Mango Festival. You had festivals galore. But when September 11th happened, that changed the whole festival scene. And so this is one of those catastrophic events that did the same thing as far as catering. So it kind of put caterers, restaurants, meal prep, it put everybody in the same circle, in the same box. And it's just like the best man win. But also on top of that, people didn't care about the pandemic. They didn't wear masks. They don't care about vaccine. I was still getting inquiries where people want to party. And they were sending inquiries for 200 and 100 people. But the difference was the different venues had a capacity percentage of what they will allow for an event. So I think the only thing that changed it was a lot of people couldn't have their events because of the rules and guidelines that were set in place. But if those rules and guidelines wasn't in place, people still be partying. I mean, we've seen all the different parties and events where people, it's a COVID fest, So it's going to change once the vaccine comes out and more people get a little comfortable. You're going to have those maybe 25% who still just watch the news all day and kind of scared a little bit. But I think they say by next Christmas, 2022 Christmas, I think it'll be a little bit earlier than that. It just depends on when the different venues and cities like the city of West Palm Beach, they cancel all special event requests for a while. So I think it's just going to depend on when those municipalities and state and government sectors lift their restrictions. And it's going to be based on that. But I think we're going to make a full comeback.
So, Boris, let me ask a follow-up question to you. Have you turned down any clients because you thought perhaps that they wanted you to do something that was not safe or maybe illegal because of restrictions?
Well, Well, I turned them down because, well, I didn't turn them down. They turned me down because we had to follow COVID guidelines, which means we had to social distance. We had to put plexiglass in place. We had to get extra staff. So of course that's cost incurred, it raises. So because of that, a lot of the events, it got out of people's budget. But they had to understand, if you still want to have this party, this is what it's going to cost to fall in compliance with the COVID situation. So it wasn't a matter of me turning them down. They had to turn me down because they couldn't afford the price, what we had to do to put in compliance with the COVID.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So Courtney, I'll come back to you with a similar question in the sense that, you know, we're looking like things, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. What do you see going forward? The changes that you've made, do you think they're going to be permanent, or are you going to do something different? What do you see coming forward in 2021, 2022?
Yeah, I think that virtual work, I think Zoom, virtual summits are a new way of life. While at first, when we had to do our first virtual event that I planned at a beautiful venue in Miami, I was thinking, oh man, this is going to, you know, not be a great situation. But it actually, we had 500 people that we anticipated to show up that we had already sold tickets to. But our virtual one ended up having 3,200 people. So we actually were able to increase significantly. And, you know, our sponsors and our clients were like, we like this. So now we're going to keep that as one of the things that we do going forward. I do think that this was a lesson for everyone, that you really do have to be digital minded. And my book, Future Proof, is all about how to be digital minded, because it's super important to make sure that you are online, that you know how to connect with your customers, you know how to create community online, and you know how to tap into not just their pockets, but really into their hearts. So I think that those things are going to be principles that stand the test of time. And I would advise every small business owner and every executive really to focus on building their brand and building a community around their services, no matter what the service is, because that's going to be the way that you can continue to grow your business, no matter what happens, if you have those relationships tapped in with your audience.
Great.
Awesome. And real quick, can I say, Courtney, and all of our panelists that we have on this morning, I've dropped their websites in the chat. But Courtney, if you have a direct link to your book, if you could drop that would be great.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
So Darren, I'll turn to you with a similar question. So, you know, going forward, you know, how do you think things are going to be, you know, coming out of this pandemic, 2021, 2022, and you know, how does that look for your business?
Well, I'm an optimist. And so my thing is, I think to be in business, and if you're an entrepreneur, you have to think that way. I always have a motto of prepare for the worst, and the worst will never happen. So my thing with that is, I think things are going to get better, but you got to learn from these experiences. All the things that Courtney said, you have to dive down into. But I'm an optimist. So I think that, you know, coming out of this, we found a new way to work. I know me personally, and I just say to all entrepreneurs, you have to value everyone who did business with you. They're so important. You know, I sell 7-cent copies. And so I have to treat my 7-cent copy people just like I do the people who are paying me $1,000 a month or more. And so we have to all dive down into our customers, and we value them. I think this pandemic has made us appreciate each other a little more. And so that's why I'm optimistic about the future. We can carry on with that. I think we're all going to be successful, but I think entrepreneurs were a special breed. And you know, I always have to rely on my relationships. So I think the best thing we can do from this situation going forward is dive down on your relationships and value your customers, and follow and stalk people like Tracy and Courtney and other marketers who's going to give you that information so you can make those quick adjustments going forward.
I'll ask you a similar question that I asked Boris in the sense that did you have people who wanted to rent your space that you had to turn down, or because of COVID restrictions, or how did you have to face that issue at all?
Yeah. Our event space, our small event space, capacity of about 30 to 50 people. We really had to shut that part down, but at the same time, it gave us an opportunity for our small clients to have the space to spread out and to continue their business. So it was an opportunity there. Right now, I'm thankful because we serve about 80 different clients that work out of Cityside, and so we have the space to move around a little bit. But yes, we had to shut down. Like I said before, 75% of my business was my meeting space, my training room, and my large conference room, which I had to shut down. Now it's starting to open up, and people are starting to feel more safe about coming out. So I'm seeing it, pick back up. But right now that space is closed down. But the opportunity we start to utilize different areas of Cityside, like our parking lot next to it, outdoor events we're going to start getting into. And it gives us opportunity to market a different way. So I'm very optimistic of making those adjustments.
Yeah, you also, your business touches on the family card, where you have a discount card for businesses. How is that going, and how do you see those businesses doing?
We're very excited, and we're going to be starting that in March. And that I am a third generation family business. My family has been on this corner for 50 or more years. So I have a special interest in family business. I think in neighborhoods, 80% of the businesses are family-owned businesses. And I know we all struggle with marketing. So we're trying to come together and create a collective. We call it the family discount card. So if you know any small businesses that's out there who need marketing, we're going to build a website. We're going to be doing publications just to help those small businesses as they dive down in this Newell work. We kind of come and alleviate and help them with that lift of letting people know first that they're still out there and showing their value in their business. So we look forward to getting that going. And I thank you for mentioning that, because that's something that we're very excited about. But just to explain real quick what that card does is, it's just a traditional discount card of smaller businesses. We have about 50 or so businesses on there, but every time somebody shows that card, they get a discount with that business. Part of those funds goes back to, we're trying to create a fund, family fund. So if small businesses need money, access to capital, we can have those funds ready to execute and to just go along with banks and, the small strongholds that small business, we're trying to alleviate that. So we're very excited about that. We're going down researching family blocks to give those blocks support in our neighborhoods in Palm Beach County, just trying to sustain the neighborhoods. My first job is being an educator, and I just know how important that is for businesses in our neighborhoods to support education. So that is a soft spot for me, Joe.
Thanks, Darren.
And also, I must say this, I think Courtney was one of my former students. I don't want to tell my age here, but I think just to see her blossom the way she is, makes me want to put my tie up a little bit.
Yes. Boris, we'll turn to you with the same related question. And can you hear me, Boris? All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So going forward, how do you see what you're doing now being the kind of like the way you're going to do business in the future, or is that what are you doing now that you think is going to stick with you going forward?
Well, I'm going to go back and create the capacity to stick with the box lunch situation, because I think at least 25% of the market is still going to be uncomfortable. And it's going to be a while before big corporations and companies go back into the office. Some of them are starting to go back into the office, but at the, last year I did a corporate event for 700 people for modernizing medicine. And I missed out on that event this year because they're still working remotely from home, and it's going to be a while. So I'm going to create the capacity to still be able to service the corporate lunch, the box lunch, and the government set the lunches to go. And I'm just, because last time I got away from it, but this time I'm just creating the capacity to expand so I can continue on with it. And that'll be an extra boost in my stream of revenue.
All right, so you'll have multiple streams with the box lunches and the big events as well. Good.
Yes.
Makes sense. Okay, so my last question before I open up to the floor is for other questions is how has and I'll start with you, Courtney. How has becoming a Black Chamber Ascension Award, what does that mean to you, and how has that affected your business?
Yeah, so 10 years, well, I started the company 10 years ago with $500 that I won from being crowned Miss Palm Beach County, the second Black woman to ever be crowned Miss Palm Beach County, by the way. But that was my founding story. And I was a part of the Black Chamber of Commerce from the very beginning, thanks to my mentor, Bruce Lewis. And I was just always involved in the chamber, and I'm still involved in the chamber actively today. So being an Ascension Award winner was a dream come true for me. From going to the first Ascension Awards that I had gone to maybe about 6 or 7 years ago. But just the Ascension Award is a very prestigious award. It's recognized not only in Palm Beach County, but through the state of Florida. And the Palm Beach County, the Black Chamber of Commerce, Palm Beach County is also recognized throughout the state. And just having that award has really allowed us to not only solidify credibility, but it's a great prestigious honor, and also to be in the same category as previous winners who are also amazing entrepreneurs and executives is just truly an honor. So we have it posted on our website, very proud, and it's at the top of our page. So it's definitely, and it also, by the way, it's one of the nicest awards I've ever seen. So it looks really nice on my bookshelf too.
Thanks, Courtney. Darren, what does it mean to you, your award winner, Ascension Award winner?
Everything that Courtney said, but just for me, it's like being inducted into the Hall of Fame of business in Palm Beach County. So I don't have my speech right now, but it is so, I can't even express what it is to be recognized with people you admire, who's not only talk the talk, but walk the walk and continue opening doors for Black businesses. And so, it's my Hall of Fame trophy. It sits up front when everybody comes in, they see that I'm in the Hall of Fame of Palm Beach County.
That would be great. And Boris, what does it mean to you to be an Ascension Award winner?
Man, it's a humbling experience. I left my full-time job about 3 years ago. I've been in business full-time for 3 years. I've been in business for 6 years. And to win something prestigious is that it made me realize the true value in hard work. And I work hard. I work so hard, man. I mean, it was days where I was going to work, I was going to culinary school, and I was working a part-time job at night. And I'll stay up overnight, just putting all into my business, returning quotes, networking, researching. And it goes to that saying, you're only going to get out of it as much as you put into it. And that's one of my moral characteristics that I utilize so much, and I stress to people, you have to work for it. And it just, when I won that award, it made my heart melt. My mama was super proud of me. And it just shows that the community really supports me and support what we do. And what we're doing here at BDS Catering and Productions is the right thing. And I appreciate the Black Chamber, and I love you guys, and thank you, because you guys are a big part of that, big part of my success as well. And it just means so much to me. And it's time for me to give back and pour into my community and to people the way they poured into me and blessed me.
Great. Thank you, Boris. It means a lot. So we're opening the floor to questions. And Tracy, I see you have a couple of questions in the chat box, right?
So the first question, if you don't mind, hold on, because we've been getting a lot of chat comments. Okay, so The first question, I believe it was from Ruth. Ruth, if you would unmute yourself and you can actually ask the question.
All right, I'll go ahead and ask the question. Were there any opportunities for you to partner and collaborate with nonprofits in the area? And I'm talking about the businesses, your businesses. Did you have opportunities for you to collaborate and partner with nonprofits in the community that were already seeing and continue to see increased needs?
I'll open that to anyone who wants to jump in.
And there actually was a response in the chat as well, and it was David. And David, you can actually unmute yourself and answer that question.
Good morning, team, and David Reese, Land Infotech. Yeah, what we're doing right now to help nonprofits in particular, we've pivoted our business to do two things. One is we help nonprofits find grants for free. We use our database, and you can call me for more information. Don't want to take up time on that. And then also, because of this, we're helping nonprofits with virtual events as well as virtual fundraising. We've already done it for the Urban League of Palm Beach County. We're doing an event for them today. So we see that this is a good way to get business. And to answer the gentleman's Boris question earlier, he indicated that this is going to be a new way of doing business. We're going to see, from what I'm hearing from the nonprofits, is that they're doing virtual events and they're also doing live events. And so we're seeing a hybrid starting to take a form. And we want to make sure we're ahead of the game and preparing our people and businesses to be ready for that. Hope I answered your question.
Thank you. Any of the panelists want to jump in as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead, Darren.
No, I just want to add to that. Yes, I just want to pick it back on what Mr. Davis said, and he's absolutely right. You have to communicate with your nonprofit community. I know, 30% of my businesses are nonprofits that work out of Cityside, and this Saturday we're going outside to collaborate with a small event, and we're doing Black poetry on Saturday. And it's not only to showcase the poetry and let the nonprofits come out, but we're just getting their visibility back in the community and out in their outreach to let the community know that those agencies are still there. So we're partnering. We're trying to do events, once or twice a month. So they're vital to build those relationships.
Really, you want to add to that?
No, I was just going to say, just to piggyback off of what David said, I think that virtual events are really going to be something that every business, nonprofit or for-profit needs to focus on, and not just doing them every so often, but really having a consistent strategy of, okay, we're going to do, these are our core competencies. These are the services that we can provide. This is the information we want to share, and having a consistent method of communication so that you can consistently put that messaging out there and bring that community around your target demographic around your brand.
Okay, great. Tracy, do we have another question?
Let me piggyback off that nonprofit.
Okay, Boris. Go ahead, Boris.
I have a nonprofit. It's called the GM Caldwell Foundation, and we've been partnering. Well, we actually have this program called Reading Under the Stars. We used to do a big event where we would have the authors come out and read to kids in a story time like setting. But because of COVID, we've had to do it virtually. So every other month, we actually find Black authors in the community, locally, Tri-County, Quad County area, and we buy their books and we give it out to the kids via book vouchers, and the author, we allow them to come on Zoom and do a reading of their books to the kids. And so that's something we take pride in, and we strive to build our program. So we're going to be having a reading on March the 17th with Tay Edmonds. He has a new book he just published and wrote. So if you guys will kindly support that program, you can reach out to me for information, or you can go to the GM Caldwell Foundation Facebook page and like the page, and you will get all the updates regarding to the virtual Reading Under the Stars. And we'll have another author, a young lady, next April the 17th. So be on the lookout for that. And we really greatly appreciate your support with that.
Yeah. Tracy, I just scrolled through the chat, and I think that was the only question I saw in the chat. There's a lot of other information, good information for reaching out and contacting people who are participating in this discussion this morning. I think we have time for one more question. Anybody have one more question before we start to close things out?
I just have a comment, if that's okay. Or do you want me to let for the comment to go later and let the question?
You got 60 seconds.
Okay, quick, just let everybody know, please, not only put your information in the chat, but please link in with one another. I'm finding out that social media is really taking off. And if you're a business person and you're not linking in with your team, with your people, you're losing out and you're missing out. So please make sure you're doing it. Make sure you're linking in with the Black Chamber of Commerce. These are where your business is going to happen. That's my 30 seconds left. I'm gone. I'm out. Thank you, Joseph.
Good job. Grassford, Grassford is the current president and chair of the Black Chamber of Commerce, and I'm going to turn it over to you for closing remarks.
And thank you very, very much. Man, what an awesome program. I personally feel like I got a lot of practical tips and inspiration out of this. I want to first just thank Frida Lucas and PNC. What an awesome introduction to PNC. I might need to refinance my mortgage so I can be over there with Joe. But that was such an interesting and just learning more about PNC. And obviously, you all have been a long-term supporter of the Black Chamber. That means a lot to us. I definitely want to thank Tracy, who couldn't unmute, but she was going to talk to you about our new members. We have had such a focus on new members this year. I've personally been a part of roughly about 20 meetings, all of which have been centered around what can we do to add additional value for our members. So you heard Darren talk about education. You've heard us talk about some of the networking opportunities we provide. We're really, really focused on bringing that value to you all. And I'll say this, talking about, innovation, we have the Ascension Awards. We recognize the Courtneys of the world, the Darrens of the world, the Borises of the world. But how often do we have an opportunity to bring folks like them back to check in with them to see how they're doing? I've never seen that done. And I think that's something that we need to do more of. It's one thing to award, but it's another thing to really follow up and see where they are, what we can do to support them and to support others. I'm sure that a lot of you on this call share a lot of the same stories about how you had to innovate to stay relevant and to stay profitable. And the Black Chamber is here to help. One thing I want to tell you about, which is something that we're doing, is the Equity Entrepreneurship Center. It's something that the Black Chamber has spent a lot of time focused on. And that's something that we're hoping to launch in the next year or so. But what you will see is with this center, we're going to be able to take businesses really from soup to nuts, training, providing them funding opportunities. A Black Business Investment Corporation locally here, very, very involved with us, one of our board members. So we are definitely focused on you. When you see our stuff, like it, join us. We're promoting you on our website. We're doing everything possible to make sure that you could achieve your goals. So I think I also see Nikki Sykes on the call. She was instrumental in raising a bunch of funds for us to help us to, achieve all of what we've been doing this year. So again, I'm the president. My name is Grassford Smith. I'm a local attorney here, partner at Ackerman. If there's anything I can do relative to the chamber to assist, please give me a call, and I will definitely be happy to speak with you. You all have a blessed rest of your day, and thank you. Look forward to seeing you at our next event. And thank you, Joe, for doing a great job.
Pleasure. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Yes. Thank you, Joe.
All right.